Hey, there, it's me, Eden. If you are new to the channel, then please subscribe to my channel and visit my Patreon page for early access. Link in the comment, thanks. They both looked eagerly at me, while I glanced from one to the other. Were they really serious? That's all very well, I began to say, but how exactly am I going to get to your house? By bus, suggested Anita. I didn't mean that. I meant that how am I going to get to your house dressed normally, and still fool your mom and dad? Anita looked perplexed for a moment. Oh well, it's all right. You can come around before they get back from work. Good idea, agreed Nikki. That way you'll already be dressed as a girl before they get here, and they'll be none the wiser. I scowled at them. Well, it's either that or get dressed up at home, and come over dressed as a girl. Anita offered, obviously not understanding why I was pulling faces. If he does that every evening before Thursday, Nikki began, obviously considering the matter deeply, that only gives him 3 evenings practice. It's not very long really. No, agreed Anita. He ought to have more than that. They both thought about it for a while. Eventually, Nikki broke the silence. It's a real shame he won't practice at home. That would be the perfect solution. Yeah, agreed Anita, shaking her head slowly as if in wonder that I wouldn't. The most practice we'll get of an evening is about 4 hours. Assuming we can get back here from school and get him changed by 5 o'clock. My mom and dad will want him to leave by 9 so I can get my homework done. Well, that'll be 12 hours practice, Nikki said. It's better than nothing. Yeah, but the more we get the better he'll do in the contest, complained Anita. What he suggested was that he spends all the time between now and Thursday dressed as a girl, and that's what we should really aim for. I did not suggest that. I objected. They did not seem to hear me. Well, what about this weekend? Asked Nikki. It's not 12 o'clock yet, so there's plenty of time. That's true, agreed Anita eagerly. Perhaps if he stayed dressed as a girl for the rest of the weekend, that would do the trick. Yeah, agreed Nikki. You didn't have anything else planned, did you, Steve? I was flabbergasted by the suggestion and lost the opportunity to lie. No, I spluttered, but... Before I could complete my objections, Nikki shouted a delighted, wonderful, which was echoed by Anita. I was supposed to be seeing John this evening, but I can put him off, Anita went on. The sudden sound of that name hit me like a cricket ball. John, the bane of my life. He was 18, and had a car, a job, and most annoying of all, Anita. I had always dreamt that one day she might stand him up for me, but not quite as it was happening now. Oh well, that's settled then, went on Nikki, oblivious to my internal plight. He can stay like that all day. Oh, what about tonight? I doubt if he'll go home dressed as a girl. No, I won't. I agreed. This was good, I thought. They'd managed to ruin their own plan without any input from me. Anita thought about this for a while. Well, perhaps he could sleep over, she suggested. That way he gets to stay as a girl all night, and tomorrow as well. Brilliant, agreed Nikki. That's hours and hours of practice for him. Fantastic. If he doesn't learn to act like a girl in that time, he probably never will. No, agreed Anita. Hang on, I said, having managed to compose myself enough to speak. This is all very well, but I've not said I want to spend the whole weekend as a girl. It was your idea, insisted Anita. You said you should spend between now and the contest dressed as a girl, so you could get good at it. Yeah, asserted Nikki in agreement. We've just been working out the perfect way for you to do that. Anita went on, with a hurt tone to her voice. You should be grateful. That's right, put in Nikki. I looked from one to the other. There was no doubt in my mind now, they were deadly serious. I had to think up a good reason to get myself out of this before it was too late. One false move and I could find myself wearing a skirt until the evening of the following day. My mum won't let me sleep over, I decided to say. Why not? Asked Anita, incredulously. Well, she likes to check with whoever's mum to make sure it's all right first. I went on, improvising as I did so. And if she did that with yours, Anita, they're bound to realize that one of them thinks I'm a boy, and the other thinks I'm a girl. What do you mean? Asked Anita. Well, I went on, I was on a roll now. My mum will say, is it all right if Steve stays over? And your mum will say, of course she can, and then my mum will say, is she? What do you mean? And then the whole game will be up. I stopped there, feeling pleased with the little play I'd managed to put on. The two girls stared at me for a moment. Well, that's all right, Nikki said, after some consideration. I'll just pretend to be Anita's mum and speak to yours on the phone. Oh yes, agreed Anita. That would work perfectly. Oh, well done, Nikki, that's exactly what we'll do. I was absolutely flattened by this turn of events. From my moment of triumph by proving it what I thought was impossible for me to dress as a girl all weekend to this had taken such a short time. I cursed silently and clutched at straws. Well, I really don't think I can do it, I said quickly, and with more confidence than I really felt. I'll never fool your mom and dad, Anita, I just won't. Oh, you will, she insisted. You look perfect, and we'll teach you how to act the part. Yeah, agreed Nikki. Anyway, went on Anita, we won't see much of them. They'll leave us pretty much to ourselves. I was painted into a corner and could see no way out. Suddenly I saw a glimpse of light. But they're bound to find out I'm a boy, I declared. How? Demanded Anita. Well, as soon as you start calling me Steve, I went on. It'll be a giveaway. Steve can be a girl's name as well, Nikki pointed out, unhelpfully. Yes, agreed Anita. The light had proved false, but I drove on regardless. But they'll have heard you talking about me from school, I said, more in hope than belief. And they'll put 2 and 2 together from that. They both looked at me, and then at each other. Shall I tell him? Said Nikki. Okay, said Anita. Tell me what? I demanded. Well, began Nikki. We had to fill in an application form for you at school yesterday. I think we told you. I shook my head in reply, but began to worry where this might be leading. And the thing is, went on Nikki, looking a little sheepish, we had to put down a name for you. Yeah, put in Anita. So we had to choose one without asking you, Nikki continued, we hoped you wouldn't mind. What do you mean? You didn't put down my own name? I asked. Oh no, said Anita quickly. We had to put that down as well. We mean a special name for the contest. Yes, went on Nikki, a girl's name. My mouth fell open at this. I'd been given a girl's name and I hadn't even known. Do you want to know what it is? Asked Anita, also looking a little contrite. I dreaded what they might have chosen. It was bound to be preposterously feminine and excruciatingly embarrassing. Shutting my eyes to cope with the shock, I nodded my head. It's Sarah, Anita announced. Sarah Sweetheart to be precise. I opened my eyes and looked at them. I had, to be honest, been expecting something far worse. Do you like it? Asked Anita, smiling sweetly. No, I mumbled. Oh, but it suits you, insisted Nikki. You look like a Sarah, especially now. Yes, agreed Anita. Anyway, the point is, we don't need to call you Steve in front of my mom and dad. We can call you Sarah. Yes, agreed Nikki. It'll make you feel more like a girl anyway. That's right. In fact, we ought to start calling you Sarah now, so we've all got a chance to get used to it. Anita went on. Good idea, agreed Nikki. So there you are, Sarah, all your little problems solved. They both laughed and looked at me for my reaction. Why Sarah? I mumbled, still in shock. Well, we needed something nice and girly, explained Anita. Especially something that couldn't be shortened to a boy's name. Yeah, agreed Nikki, enthusiastically. And lots of the other contestants have picked really silly names, like Fifi and Carmen. Carmen, get it, said Nikki, expressing her disgust. So we thought you'd be better off with something nice and sweet and simple. Like Sarah. Yeah, agreed Nikki. Anyway, you're stuck with it now. The application form has gone in. You don't really mind, do you? Anita asked me sweetly. It could have been a lot worse. I shuddered and thought for a moment. I suppose so, I agreed, reluctantly. Good, exclaimed Nikki. Then Sarah you shall be, at least between now and Thursday. Agreed. Yes, replied Anita enthusiastically. Is that okay with you, Sarah? They both giggled. I shrugged my shoulders in resignation. I guess so. Wonderful, exclaimed Anita, and then leant over to peck me on the cheek again. Careful, said Nikki, still giggling, people will put you two down as lesbians at this rate. No, said Anita, taking my hand in hers. We're just good friends. Aren't we, Sarah? They both giggled again at this. Well, I suppose it's time for something else, began Anita. I've got you a little present. I hope you don't mind. I shrugged my shoulders again, and Anita walked across the kitchen and opened her handbag, which was lying on the side. She got out a small brown bag, with the name of a well-known jeweler on it. This is for you, she said, handing the bag over to me. Puzzled, I took it and opened the bag. Inside was a small blue plastic box, which I took out. Well, open it then. Anita urged me, enthusiastically. I turned it around to find the clasp and then lifted the lid. Inside was a small silver chain, quite long, but twisted around. On it hung 5 letters, again in silver, with a jeweled effect on each. They spelt out Sarah. Anita had bought me a necklace with my new name on it. I blushed scarlet. I thought it would be so sweet for you to be able to have your name around your neck at the contest, Anita explained. It's perfect. Yes, agreed Nikki. Put it on for him. Oh. Okay, agreed Anita, a little taken aback. She held out her hand for the box, and speechless, I gave it to her. She removed the necklace from its mounting and undid the clasp on the chain. Leaning forward, she put both ends around my neck, and after some difficulty, reaffixed the chain behind my neck, all the while, gazing electrically into my eyes. The perfect gentleman always does that for a lady when he's bought her a necklace, Nikki said, with glee in her voice. Anita hesitated for a moment and then pecked me on the cheek again. It looks adorable, Sarah, she declared. I do hope you like it. I still could not speak, but lifted my hand to feel the chain around my neck. Looking down, I read it and blushed further. I could also see the heaving of my new bosom under Anita's jumper. Still feeling dazed, I felt a tear trickle from the corner of my eye. Oh, poor Steve, declared Anita as soon as she saw this. Is it all getting too much for you? I still couldn't speak. What's the matter? Asked Nikki. He's crying, declared Anita caringly, but much to my chagrin. Well, it has all been a bit strange for him, Nikki said to excuse me. Never mind, you're doing really well. Yes, agreed Anita, her hand still around my shoulders. Poor Steve. Poor Sarah, added Nikki, placing her hand on my other. I know, said Anita brightly, let's just finish our coffee for a minute and think what we've got to do next. Yes, agreed Nikki. Please subscribe for the next part. And visit my Patreon page for early access.